You're standing in your garden at sunrise, coffee in hand, and there they are again. Holes chewed through your cabbage leaves, squash bugs marching across the zucchini like they own the place, and you've already sprayed 3 times this month. Most gardeners are stuck on a pesticide treadmill. You apply a chemical, the insect populations evolve a slight resistance, and the following season you have to buy something stronger. You end up rotating chemicals year after year, while still losing a significant portion of your harvest. I saw a different reality when I spent time with Amish families in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Eli, an Amish grandfather in his 70s, showed me a potato patch that was entirely flawless. Despite the presence of Colorado potato beetles in the region, pests known to strip a plant bare in 2 days, Eli's crop didn't have a single chewed leaf, and he never sprayed a drop of insecticide. Instead of using oils or powders, he pushed thin strips of copper flashing into the soil around the base of each plant. He buried these narrow 2-inch wide bands about 1 inch deep, leaving just the top edge visible above the surface. This works because most crawling insects refuse to cross copper. Their bodies carry a slight electrical charge, and when they touch the interface where copper meets moist soil, it triggers a galvanic reaction, feeling like a mild electric shock. Cornell University measured this in 1994, finding a 96% reduction in pest activity. Because the copper doesn't wash away or wear out, the protection is effectively permanent. Eli's strips had been in the same ground for 19 years. While this simple physics handles ground-based crawlers, 1 inch of metal in the dirt offers no protection against the pests that fly in from above. To address aerial pests, Amish farmers in places like Holmes County, Ohio, add a second metal to the system. They drive galvanized zinc nails into wooden garden stakes or tomato cages, positioned several inches above the ground. When both zinc and copper are present, the moist soil acts as an electrolyte. This creates a weak bioelectric circuit, what old German-speaking farmers called a Spannfeld or tension field. This circuit is too weak for humans to detect, but creates an electromagnetic disturbance soft-bodied flying insects sense. On their final landing approach, the field disrupts their behavior, causing them to fly past entirely. A 2008 study from Auburn University measured this phenomenon. Beds with dual metal placement showed 37% higher microbial activity and significantly lower pest pressure than the control plots. By utilizing the soil's own conductivity, these farmers create an environment that remains active and repellent to pests 24 hours a day without any manual intervention. This was once documented in the Penn State Agricultural Archives. In 1923, an agent named H.R. Shoemaker visited a farm near Intercourse, Pennsylvania, run by a man identified as Brother Yodar. Shoemaker noted the plots had no measurable pest damage, attributing success to this copper and zinc method. If these field reports showed the method was cheap and effective, we have to ask why it disappeared from gardening manuals after World War II. The shift occurred in 1945. This was the start of the modern chemical revolution, marked by the arrival of commercial DD-phosphate pesticides. Agricultural research and extension education pivoted towards these products, representing a massive new source of funding. Passive metal techniques that farmers could set up once for $20 were no longer profitable for the industry to promote. The copper-zinc technique wasn't disproven, it was simply set aside in favor of a chemical paradigm that required a new purchase every season. Beyond acting as a repellent, these metals provide a direct biological benefit. A 2016 study from Ohio State found that the metals slowly release trace amounts of ionic copper and zinc into the root zone. Plants use these ions to build tougher cell walls through increased lignin production and to develop more vigorous root systems. This makes the plant itself physically harder to chew and chemically less attractive to insects, who typically seek out the weakest plants in a row. The 1923 archive report described one final technique that Brother Yodar used to maximize this effect across his entire garden. He buried 4 small clay pots flush with the ground at the corners of his plot. He filled them with rainwater, a single pre-1982 copper penny, and a galvanized roofing nail. Because rainwater is slightly acidic, it slowly dissolves the metals. Capillary action then pulls those ions outward through the surrounding soil. Where these 4 circular patterns overlap, they create a consistent nutrient gradient across the whole bed. This triggers what chemists call systemic acquired resistance. It's essentially the plant's own immune response, proving that long-term pest control is often about strengthening the crop rather than trying to kill every bug. You can apply this today without rebuilding your garden. You simply push copper strips vertically into the soil at the edge of your existing beds and add galvanized nails to your current stakes. For less than $25 in basic hardware store supplies, you can establish a self-reinforcing system that lasts for years. Adopting these methods is a way to reclaim time-tested agricultural knowledge that was marginalized decades ago. If you've been struggling with a specific pest, like squash bugs or cabbage moths, leave a comment below. Stepping off the chemical treadmill is the first step toward a more resilient, independent garden.